Okay, we're live.
All the way.
My fault. This
Oh,
time.
look, responsibility taken. I love it.
Oh, dun, dun, dun.
Okay, sorry, a few minutes late, and that's your dog getting adjusted.
It is my dog. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
happy to see someone.
Yeah. Right. Okay, everybody. This is I guess this is the first. We have two guests on. We haven't had two guests on before. So everybody meet Rose and Emily. Y'all probably know each other. Rose, you have your mic muted.
No, she doesn't.
So I'm in a hotel.
Oh,
We
okay.
literally just got here like 20 minutes
Okay.
ago, and they're doing construction or something kind of
Okay.
outside the door. So
Got it.
just didn't want that to be
Is
showing up.
you said we? Does that mean Timmy's with you?
Timmy is with me.
There he
Hey,
is.
hi.
Nice. Look at him plugging away. Just the brains behind.
Just
it.
working.
Just you working.
She has him
stop.
working. All right, very
Exactly.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we don't have we haven't even talked. None of us have even
No.
talked about this, so we're
No.
just going to kind of
No.
wing it like per usual. But this is the thing, is we're winging it because all four of us are very busy photographers. We got very busy schedules, so when you get these educators that it's no
Hold on, I
Justin.
have to beat
It's
something.
not. God, this is terrible. So, anyways, you know that we're going to talk about Emily and Rose's new workshop, and the reason why we haven't gotten together because we're all really busy, and which is really important because there's been a lot of shows that I've attended in the past. I've attended pretty much all the volume workshops multiple times, and every so often they get a speaker up there that's not really qualified. Either they've worked for a long time and they don't have a successful studio, or they haven't worked for a long time and they don't really have the experience to be educating. So you don't have to worry about this group here. Emily and Rose have very successful studios. Rose has a little different model than Emily, and by them pairing up together, I think is really cool and should be a very informative workshop. Emily is probably if not, or one of our biggest Boatwright Boot Camp fans. She's been to as many as anybody except for maybe the camp counselors. So I'm really proud of her. Rose, was nice enough to come be at my boot camp in Colorado. And Rose, we would reciprocate, but Karina wants me to take her. Well, I want to go too. We're going on a 25th wedding anniversary that week. So that's why we're missing the class. Otherwise we'd be there. But anyway, ladies, tell us about yourselves, kind of a little summary of your studio first.
Emily, you go first.
Okay, so I am relatively new to the volume photography industry. Got out of college, majored in music education, thought I was going to be a choir director, started going to schools around junior year and like doing kind of like mock teaching, hated it. And so I was like, okay, well, this is definitely not what I'm doing. And also during that time, I was planning my wedding. And so I was looking at wedding photographers and wedding planners and blogs and stuff like that, and just kind of decided, hey, I think maybe I'm gonna do this instead. And so when I was 21, bought a camera from a guy in a Walmart parking lot off Craigslist. And I was a wedding photographer. Built that up just by myself, didn't have any employees or anything. Did that for 7 years. It was great. It was successful. Had an awesome time doing it. But when I had my kids, I needed to transition. And so I went headfirst into preschool photography, had a really successful time doing that. Lots of 1099ers helping me out. And then when COVID hit, all of my preschools canceled. And so by May here in Texas, we were playing baseball. And so I joined a couple of volume groups to see about kind of doing sports photography and what all that entailed, and found Jay's boot camp. So called him in a panic, like, hey, I see that it's sold out, but like, you have to let me come because I have to figure out how to do this so that I can make some money.
During COVID.
So since that was July 2020, and it has been full speed ahead, selling. I have 3 full-time employees now, studio manager, office manager, they both shoot. And then a sales and accounts manager who is incredible, who does all of our booking and keeping up with everybody and making sure I don't get myself in trouble. So yeah.
Okay. I need to revisit that. First of all, I want to say something about when she came to boot camp. She was the one that I was asking Karina's like, do you think Emily, does she have a good time? She's very quiet. Like, she didn't really say anything. Like, is she like, because she wasn't really in the volume industry. I was really worried. Well, little did I know, like she was absorbing absolutely everything, and she just hit the ground running once she got back. And I think what you guys heard is like sales, a lot of sales, like that's a big part of your success, right? Like the camps can often give you you're ahead of the curve when you on the photography, because you can learn, what you guys are going to teach on the photography side is going to go from your photography might go from 1 to a 6 really quick. It might take us years to do, but what you heard her say, she did a really good job at sales. And I think what you see Timmy over there doing is sales. So you got all of the studios are just me and Justin, relationship guys. We do our sales. Everybody has a different sales technique. Emily has somebody doing sales. So everybody's doing a little bit different. And it's really cool how, I think having Timmy and Emily having dedicated salespeople, they might end up lapping us, Justin, as far as
they already lapped me like 3 times. Are you kidding me? Like I got nothing on all 3 of you. I'm just the little guy here, but I get a little bit jealous. Emily grew her business fast. I've watched it since, basically she started getting into the industry, and you can't tell me that her pictures don't look like she's not been doing it forever. Plus her help, right? You grew it so well and are able to hire employees and trust them enough to let them do the stuff that a lot of us photographers won't allow, right? Like I don't want somebody taking the photos for me. Jay does it. You do it. I don't do it. It's just me. I'd love to be able to let people do that. And I have a hard time letting go of that. So
a thing that it's kind of different about my situation is a lot of people in the volume industry, like this is their career too. So they had a career one, raised their kids, got them through college, and then now they're doing something for them. I have little kids. Like I have a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, pre-K and kindergarten. So I miss a lot of basketball games for my kids and soccer games, football games and stuff like that. And I don't want to be doing that forever. So I've got to have help, or, I'm going to be absentee mommy, and I don't want to be that. So
that's interesting.
It's all about your quality of life, right? Like the quality of life that you want to have with your family and stuff after. Yeah,
you got to have that work-life balance, and really, I feel like the only way to scale is to get you some help, or you're going to be burned out and overbooked and not able to do a good job. And I feel like between the 4 of us, we really do a good job.
That's interesting.
Absolutely.
Well, and you said that you just bought a camera and just started being a wedding photographer. I think that kind of, in the way you did your boot camp, to me, like those 2 things just means that you're a pretty brave person, like willing to take risk. I feel like that's,
be willing to take risk, or you will never
take risks.
Business.
Yes.
And
yes.
Be willing to fail taking those and learn from it and move on. Don't dwell on it. Get over it and do it better next time.
Yep.
Well, Jay, isn't that part of your story? Didn't you get a camera or something, like kind of one of those deals?
I bought a camera for
pictures.
Yeah, I bought a camera for a kid who just graduated from photography school, the Art Institute of the SCAD. No, it was the Savannah College of Art and Design, which is like the really uppity, I guess, what do you call it? Photography school here in the South. And but he, that was back in the day where I guess digital was relatively new. Relatively. And he's like, you can't sell my images type thing. And you know what I mean? Like those are, I'm like, that's just not the thing anymore. And he also was like, couldn't put in the hour of a sports photographer. Those 2 things. So I had to either take the photos or we're going to not be in business. So yeah.
So none of you all started on film like I did. You guys all started when it was digital.
I've never shot a film camera ever.
I bought a Nikon D90 on the way home from work because I just got paid, and I blew a whole paycheck on it, on the kit lens and everything. And it was because I didn't have any photos of my kids, and they were in middle school, and I had no sports pictures, and they were phenomenal athletes. And I thought, I am the worst dad. I have 0 pictures of my kids because I was so busy working at my other job. I was never home. So that was my intro to it too. Very similar. It was just on a whim, and then it took off. It just took off from there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I started with film because my parents were film photographers, and then we had our own dark room too. So I started taking pictures when I was 14. My mom paid me $25 to go shoot a wedding with her. And then when I was 14, she gave me a camera and gave me 1 roll of film. And then when I got good enough, I got 2 rolls of film. And then that was the only black and whites that she sold. And so when I was like 15-ish, she started selling those pictures. But yeah, she paid me a whopping $25. And we did like 3 weddings on a weekend. So it was like, I felt like I was making a ton of money.
I would have loved to have heard your parents' conversations like about Rose. For like, I think we're gonna make some money off of Rose. Like,
she's got a pretty good eye. I think we're off on her a little.
For sure. So because I just grew up in the studio. We had a location, and like we went through all the phases of like the babies, seniors, big families, weddings. Then we got some dance studios. So we did all the things. But like by the time I was graduated high school, I was 17. I was shooting high school seniors, and when I turned 18, I shot my first wedding by myself.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was it. Yeah.
That is a huge responsibility, and the bride trusted you, an 18-year-old.
Yes, exactly. I mean, my mom was just like, "How many of these can we book her to do?" This sounds like a really good plan.
That's fantastic. And the transition to cheer and dance. What happened there?
So we had a few dance studios local in Oklahoma City, and my mom had done just relationships. Like they had families and kids, and we were kind of the boutique studio thing to go to. And back then we were doing a ton of like limited edition kids. And then we had some families that had dance studios. And then we started having a couple of those, and they were kind of the big ones. And so for a long time, we had a few random dance studios. And as my mom got older, and, you know, I got into my 20s into this after college, and I was just like, we should just do more dance studios. And then because my mom was teaching everywhere, I got hooked up with some wonderful studios, and I went a few weekends and stayed with the Roma Guerras in New Orleans, and they only, you know, not only did volume, but for the most part did volume.
Right.
And I mean, Mr. Ralph, he's just like, the people that make the most money in this business, they do volume, you know, in some capacity. Yes. And unless it's something unusual, and he's just like, if you want to do this, that's the way to go. And most people, he's like, and most people aren't talking about it. They're not educating about it. Most people are just too busy working, doing it. And so he was my first introduction into the big, I mean, our volume was good, but I mean, he'd just come home with piles of order forms, and we just stay up all night, just ripping order forms. And after the shoot, doing it all. And I was like, oh, this is the way to go. This is how you
that was in New Orleans.
I would fly to New Orleans and shoot like proms and underclass and random things for him.
So did your mom made that connection with you and Ralph? Is that what happened?
Yes. My first internship was Tim Kelly, who's big portrait. Tim Kelly, like master portrait, like $250 for a 4x5. He was my first like internship. I got to stay with him for a couple weeks and his family, and he had a studio on his property, and got to learn like how incredibly rich some people are, you know, to kind of come in and do a beautiful portrait session and be like, I'm going to get that 4x5 for $250. It's like, wow, this is amazing. And he had a full production. I mean, he printed his own pictures, and not like on a DX100, like he had the 20-foot lab for his, you know, boutique, beautiful business. And so I had opportunities of that, like nuggets. My mom would be like, do you want to learn weddings? And I got a person. Do you want to do this? Larry Peters, he's like, seniors. Do you want to do volume? That's Mr. Ralph. And she would just send me places.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I got a lot of experience that way.
Yeah. So your mom was did you go to a lot of her events? Like where was she teaching?
She taught for PPA. She's a huge PPA. She still judges for PPA. And she's still involved in our like local association. We still have a metro. I don't know if you guys do here, but Oklahoma City has a metro photography association. So she still helps with that. And then our chapter, our state chapter, she helps with that, but she'll still judge for PPA, and she'll go every year as much as she can. She'll go to the national convention, does the ASP, do all the things, but she would teach a lot. Because my mom's just, if you meet her, she's just a fun person to be around. So.
I haven't met her. We need to. I would love to meet her.
I haven't either. I hear good things about your parents, though. I do.
Yes.
And my dad, in the industry a long time. So
they have. So my stepdad, which I call my dad because he's very important to me, he taught Photoshop for. I mean, he was Canon Explorer of Light, and he taught Photoshop for the National Convention and for years and years and years. So he teaches Texas school, and somehow they're like the two tallest people on the planet. They met at like a convention, and then fell in love and got married and stuff like that. So you can't miss them when they're in the room. She's 6'2" and he's 6'5", so they're very hard to miss people.
What?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's very
I would
crazy.
think that they were the tallest people in the world until we got our exchange student. He's 7'1".
I saw that picture and I was just like, wow,
Oh
that's
my
a tall
gosh.
basketball kid.
Yeah, it was
perfect
crazy.
for
We
you.
took a photo of him with a ex NBA star, and that guy was 6'7", and he just like he was like up to there on him. It was crazy.
I
Yeah,
saw that.
it's
It made
crazy.
him look like a
incredible.
normal sized human. Like they
Yes.
looked regular, right?
Yeah.
Standing together, but next to anyone else, they're
Oh,
giants.
I have a
Wow.
photo with Karina in the middle of him, and it's hysterical.
I bet that's
she
awesome.
just looks like a little dwarf.
I bet so. And where's he from?
Brazil.
I didn't want to say where'd you want to get him from, but like,
No.
where did he come from?
No.
He's from Brazil. He's 7
Yeah.
foot tall. Wow.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
awesome.
Incredible.
Yeah, he's a very sweet kid. Okay, so I loved what you said about Ralph said that that there's not much volume education because everybody's too busy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
Let that
that's
sink in. Wow.
yes, like that's kind of the way we start off the stream, right? It's like we're really busy. That's why we haven't talked, and that's so true. Like the people you get your education from, they should barely be able to talk to you. Like you're catching them on the way to the shoot, the way home from the shoot, because all we have time for is shooting, and we all have families. So and managing that, and that's that's a tough one. Emily, didn't you what's the situation at home now? I know your husband is now stopped working, correct? Or he's working with you now, right?
So he works. We're both entrepreneurs. I've never had like a regular job. This has been my job since we got married when I was 22. And hey, Jody.
There's Jody.
Cool. That's awesome.
She's on the wrong side of the country.
No, she's not. West Coast.
But he did step back for a minute after I hired my manager because I was semi stay-at-home momming it while I was, trying to build back up after COVID with the preschools and everything tanking. And he was like, okay, I see what you're doing. Like you've hired somebody, and he had hired or moved up in his businesses. He has a gutter company and a Christmas light company. And
oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Entrepreneur guy. And so he had just moved up a guy to be his operations manager to run the day-to-day. And he was able to take a step back to let me really go all in 40 plus hours a week to like get this going. And I didn't hire Kelsey, my sales girl, until October of last year. So I did basically a year and a half where I was the person who was doing all the sales. So like Cameron were shooting, me and Cameron were editing, but then like I was also having to keep up with booking and maintaining the accounts and everything like that. So now we're kind of splitting it. We're kind of half and half. I take the kids to school. He picks them up. So he goes to work up in his office at our house early. And then I take the kids to school, head off to the studio. He picks them up. I come home around 5:30. So
that's pretty awesome. Y'all both learning how to delegate so you can grow your businesses.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's what I'm jealous of. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's tough.
You can do it.
Yeah, but
I'm literally talking about this exact thing is like the lies you tell yourself to keep yourself from growing. Like, I can't give up editing. I'm the only one who can do it. I can't let anybody else shoot for my business because they can't do it. They can do it.
Yes.
You land on the beach, Justin, while you're still making money.
I know. I loved your post when you posted that when you're out teaching and doing your thing, and then you were able to post like, look at all these amazing pictures taken while I was
that was awesome.
Like, it was incredible.
7 leagues without me. Not like 1 or 2 high school teams, like full 25 team plus leagues while I was gone.
So good.
Awesome.
So good.
Hey, so okay. What I want to ask you is, and I don't know if this is part of your class, so we'll get to the class in a minute, but what you just said is you hired a salesperson. I think that's a big thing for a lot of people. How did you do that successfully, and you had the trust to do it? Like, what was your method to finding somebody that you could trust to handle your sales?
Well, first off, you got to wait for the right person. You can't just hire any old body. Don't hire your sister's boyfriend's cousin, like just because they think that they can do it. You need somebody who has experience making cold calls, who is not nervous on the phone, who's like ready to go. And I was specifically looking for like some sort of former salesperson. And so I put it out on Facebook. I put it out on Indeed. And what ended up happening was like a girl who I know who's a photographer had a sister-in-law who was looking for a job, former pharmaceutical sales rep for a veterinarian company. Or what'd you do, Kelsey? A veterinary distributor. And so she had emailed me and said, first off, you're going to get 100 emails of people who can't write a sentence. And so you just immediately delete those.
Right.
Or people who say, you'll say, I need this, and this qualification. And they'll be like, well, I worked at Starbucks. So you're going to have to sift through a lot of that. But when you find the right person and they send you the email, you will immediately know that they're the right person. So when I met Kelsey and interviewed her, she was like, oh yeah, cold calls, no big deal. I was making 75 cold calls a day. Like, cool, you're going to need to make 5.
Right.
Not that many places to go. So.
Yeah, that is fascinating. So you found her on an Indeed or something?
I knew her sister-in-law who was a photographer. We were friends on Facebook. Okay. Am I right?
No,
I'm not right. Hang on.
Clearly, you don't know this girl very well, Emily.
She was a customer. She followed me on
customer.
So,
okay.
she just hires people and doesn't even know their name, and it works out.
She doesn't even know this person.
Yeah. Yeah, we live in the same town, which was really important to me because my studio is a minute from my house. Hallelujah. So I wanted everybody to come to work. This is, I think it's going to be hard if you want to hire a team and do it virtually. And I know a lot of people do it, but that's not my jam. I need to see people in person every day. We need to have a working relationship where we all kind of know each other and we've got a group text going. And
that's fascinating. So you didn't find her, it was a personal relationship because y'all,
I guess
she was a customer.
Did you just see it on my Facebook? Yeah, she just saw it on either my Facebook or the studio. One of them, my Facebook or the studio's Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah. We've gotten a lot of our people who work for us. Our CrossFit gym has been our biggest place where we found people. I found Jody through her aunt who we did CrossFit with. And kind of the CrossFit community, they're kind of crazy. They really work hard. That just says something about them to show up every day and put yourself through that. And so that's a good place to find people to work for you. So that's been a big place. And we've also, same thing, customers of ours where, stay-at-home mom just wants something to do. And we've been able to hire those as well.
I found Jody at boot camp. So
yeah, I mean, how is Jody from here?
Yeah,
Rose, I've been trying to steal her. No, I've been trying for 2 years. I'm really persistent.
It's a visit, Rose.
It's way nicer out here.
It is a visit. Jody's got shit to do Monday.
Yeah, I had to buy her
shit to do
Sunday to get home. I wanted to keep her for another 2 weeks. Nobody will let me have her.
Yeah, did you? Jody had a plane ticket where she was flying out at 1 a.m.
And I said no. I don't care how much it costs. You're not leaving at 1 a.m.
Did you buy her a new ticket?
Yeah.
I don't
She's
blame you.
United home, by the way, so she'll be home faster.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, she was doing Frontier. I was like, ooh.
Oh, poor thing. Had a 3-hour layover in Seattle, leaving at 1 a.m. from Portland. Who wants to do that? No.
Don't do it.
All right, y'all. Let's outline the class for us. Who wants to take that over? Tell us a little bit what's going to happen at your workshop. Do it different, correct? Do it different.
Do it different.
Who made up the name? How long did that take?
That was a collaboration.
Okay.
It was a collaboration. I mean, pretty much how this all went was, I think a couple of years at SPAC, Emily came up to me, I think when I was having dinner with you guys, and was like, you don't know me and I don't know you, but my name's Emily and I love your work and we should connect. And I think that was a conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was very short, but it was like, hey, we're going to be friends and we're going to do together.
And I was like,
I think I remember that. I was drinking tequila though.
We were.
With Tracy.
With Tracy, who's going to do more work when his wife sees this.
I don't know about that, Jason. And this little, I don't know.
Right.
Justin, how do we feel?
JodyOut.com.
I don't know. Okay, sorry.
Don't go to that website.
Don't go to that website. But yeah, and then after that, I don't know how quickly after that we kind of connected, and she's a few hours away from me, and so we meet kind of up in the middle. We've met up a couple times just to kind of get together and talk, and I was just like, I like her. She's fun.
Yes.
Similar in a lot of ways, different in a lot of ways, but it's hard to find people I find in my sphere that I feel like I really, really love their work.
Right.
And I hate saying that, but it's true.
No,
but it's like,
okay.
man, like I'm just like, I love your work. Your work is so beautiful. It's dynamic and stuff. And dynamic is one of my words that resonates with me with photography. So I'm like, oh, I like her stuff. And it doesn't take very long to meet her and go, she's highly aggressive in the things that she's passionate about, like in a good way. In a good way.
Highly aggressive.
Yeah. Not like in a like, oh, I'm a woman, can I do this?
Right. Yes.
Like that's the vibe I get from a lot of people.
No, you just gotta get out of her way. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
she
is, and I value that and I appreciate that because I feel like I'm in the same boat in a lot of ways. That I'm just like, man, we don't have time for goofing around. Highly aggressive, get it done, make it beautiful, make money. So, so we just kind of started talking about it. Actually, she approached it to me. It was her idea. She's like, hey, I think we should do something. And I was like, hey, I like you. Sure. Throw it out there. Let's do it. And so it's just kind of been something we've talked about. And it's like, how do we do what would be beneficial for the community? How do we do it differently? Obviously she's extremely passionate about growing people's businesses and making it set up successfully. And I'm like, I like to make things pretty. So I think this will be great. Like, let's just get this together. And so it's just like every time we talk, it was just like another good thing, another good idea. I was like, this is great. This is great. I mean, the other day I was texting her, I was like, we were talking about like personalities and dynamics and employees and all the things. And I was just like, it just doesn't stop, as far as what we could do. And I get hit up a lot about education and stuff like that. And I'm sure Emily does too with her stuff. And I was like, let's just collab this together. We're not too far away. Let's just make it happen and let's do something different. So it's kind of how it all came about.
That's awesome. Love that story. Emily, tell us about what's actually going to be at the workshop.
So we're going to have shooting stuff and business stuff.
How many days is it? Is it 2 days?
2 days.
2 days. Okay.
The first day is going to be like all day long, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., getting it done. We'll throw a barbecue in the middle and then go back to work. So this is not a workshop for if you're looking to like come hang out and have a good time and have a vacation. We're going to be down to business the whole time. Lots of demo shooting. Rose is going to shoot a lot of dance because that is what people want to see from her. I'm going to shoot a little sports and hopefully people to see that from me. But what I'm really excited about is the business stuff because I'm definitely entrepreneur first. Like I can take a picture, our work is good, but I want to change people's businesses through this. And then after the workshop is over, we're going to head straight into a 12-week mastermind. So it's going to be 3 months, 2 calls a week, homework, business stuff, getting your stuff together through third quarter to like really set yourself up for 2024 on how do I want to do my business? What do I want my work-life balance to look like? And just kind of have the tools to be able to reevaluate and renegotiate how you want your business to run.
Okay, that's awesome. That is definitely different. It's a different workshop. Do it different.
Doitdifferent.co.
Yes, and what? Okay, talk about how much how much it's going to be, and when you open it, and what about how big is the workshop going to be? Is it unlimited, or the scale it down, or what's that going to look like?
So it opens. The cart opens where you can book your seat Monday, February 13th. That's this coming Monday, day after the Super Bowl, at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay.
It's going to be $12.99 for that 24 hours, and then it'll jump up to $14.99. If you want to bring somebody from your studio, a spouse or an employee or whatever like that, it's going to be $199.
No.
Don't say $199.
No.
It's not.
It's not.
Easy.
It's not. I'm thinking of the
$2.99.
Hang on. Notes.
It is $2.99, regular price $4.99.
It is $2.99, regular price $4.99.
That's a deal. That's a deal.
Yeah,
it's a deal.
It's a deal.
You're basically teaching them how to start their volume business for $400.
Right. So
man, that's really good price.
No,
that is the deal on that. And then if you want to add on the 3-month mastermind, it is $199 a month for people who go to the workshop and $299 a month for people who don't. And then as far as capping it, We don't have that hard set yet. We'll just kind of like evaluate as it goes. We're not going to have too many people. It's not going to get crazy. You'll be able to see, you'll be able to get one-on-one attention. We'll cut it off before we get to the point where we feel like it's too much.
Okay. That's understandable. The first workshop, you don't know if there's going to be 100 people or there's going to be 20 people. Either way, it's going to work out pretty good.
There will not be 100 people.
We will not be anywhere close to
yeah. Okay.
that.
Yeah. And that's fantastic. That's great. So, the rollout price, $12.99. And then if you want to bring your spouse, this will be extra $2.99. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then if you want to add on, which I think everybody should, the $200 extra for the mentoring for 12
Per
weeks
month.
is $199. But you did say you're offering that $2.99 for people who don't attend the workshop.
Right. So if you can't make it to the workshop for whatever reason, if you've got something going on, you're going to be on vacation, you can still be a part of that 3-month mastermind, and you definitely should, because it's going to kind of be a standalone thing. Like you don't need to have gone to the workshop to have the information. It's just going to be building upon what we do in the workshop.
Okay. And are you, where is it going to be?
So it's going to be at my studio in Oklahoma City. So we've got my studio is on our property. We have 12 acres and a barn and all the things and beautiful sunsets. So I've got like 2,400 square feet there. So, and that's where it's going to be. And we have a lot of parking. I have a huge blacktop paved area. We just have a lot of space to make it happen. So it's going to be there.
Well, just wait. So this one's going to go well. And then the next one, Emily's going to set up Airbnbs on your 12 acres, and then she's going to rent those out.
Seriously.
That would not surprise me from Emily.
No joke. We have 7 acres in the back, and I'm like, we should put some Airbnbs back there. Like, we have time for that. But I was like, but we should. Yeah. Having the time for it is like, there's so many good ideas, but you kind of have to focus, right? I mean, that's be pulled so many different directions. And then what's good about this, I feel like this is kind of like in y'all's wheelhouse, where you guys are going to, y'all live this on a daily basis. So it's not going to be a stretch for you to go advising people. No, it's going to be fun. People are going to have a good time, and they're going to learn a lot. So it'll be fun.
So I was curious as I was thinking about this, like you guys starting your own workshop. We have boat camps where we have a lot of great photographers there. We have the camp counselors, the Martins, the Shooks, the Graftons, that sort of thing. And me and Justin were like, would there ever be a class where we would all join forces type thing, a big class? And what would that even look like? But then you mentioned like Texas school. That's kind of what that is, right? I mean, I'm not I've never been to Texas school because they always have like in busy time of season for us. So same. I never go to that. But tell us about that. Like tell me a little bit more about that Texas school. I'm kind of curious about it since you said you have some experience with it.
I've been to Texas school. I've been there. Have you ever been, Emily?
No.
Okay. I've been to Texas school. Not recently. I mean, gosh, I think I took Richard Sturdivant's class last, and I think it was like 5 or 6 years ago. But
that's the guy I would go see if I would do it. That would be who I would go see.
And it's good, like I got some nuggets there. I mean, I don't ever kind of go expecting I'm going to learn the whole wheelhouse, but I'm going to pick up some things. And obviously he's a master at Photoshop. So I picked up some nuggets there and I had a good time. What's great about Texas school is all your meals are paid for. The location's pretty reasonable. It's a whole week with someone all day long. So if you want to go and learn something, I mean, 1 day, 2 days, I mean, it's like 4.5 days long. So you get a lot of stuff with that. But other than that, I've taken some other classes like Larry Peters and Greg Daniels and things like that. I mean, it's a lot of information. And it's in Texas, and who doesn't love Texas? Everyone likes Texas. So it's fun, but I haven't been there recently. So I don't know.
It's a terrible time of year. It's a terrible time of year for volume photographers, right? It's like
volume,
April or
for volume because most portrait photographers, they're busy from June to December. That is their wheelhouse. Mainly, I would say in July, more so than that Christmas season. Portrait photographers are not busy in January through May. They're not. Okay. Volume people are. And so there's not that ebb and flow of, because I remember when PPA used to be in July, and it was too busy for portrait photographers. And so they moved it to January where they think nobody has business. But there's just not a lot of great education, I would say, for that. especially not a lot of hands-on. That's what I mean. I loved coming to your thing because I was just like, I love that kind of stuff. I think it's always really interesting to see how other people do it, because you're always going to pick up something. Even for me, I've been doing this for a long time, but you can still pick up like, oh, that was a good idea. Oh, the way he did that, the way he said that, the way that they posed that, the way they ran it through that way. I mean, you're always going to pick up something from somebody who's good. Like you said, like I find it very valuable to learn from people who are doing this full time, not people that are just like, oh, sometimes I do it, or I used to do it 100 million years ago. Like, tell me the person that's doing it now,
right?
Because
it's relevant. Yes,
I went to workshops and found out real fast that some of them, like, I was really excited to meet them, and then you get there and like they only knew how to run aperture priority in their camera. I was like, you don't even know it. What? Yes. I paid how much, and you don't know how that works? That's how I felt. So I mean, I've been to those bad ones before too.
Yeah, but there's not even a lot of hands-on experience where you not just get to see other people work, or you get to work in that, or you get to shoot, or you get to get some one-on-ones and stuff with it. There's just not a lot for our side of this industry, which I think is really undervalued and sad, because I do think hands down we're the people that are making the most money.
Yes, 100%.
Well, you three are.
I thought I was making good money when I was shooting.
And then you see their dashboards and you just go cry yourself to sleep.
Whatever.
Yeah.
In my early 20s, mid 20s, when I was shooting weddings, I thought I was making really good money. No.
Yeah.
And you can't, I mean, it's not to say that people in those nuggets, like I know still some very successful senior photographers, portrait photographers, wedding photographers. It's not to say that you can't, but in the general, people that are doing it, you know, the best in this industry are the people that are profiting the most. I don't care what you net, but how much you bring home and take care of your family with. So
right.
It's different. So anything that helps people do that, I'm pretty new to the speaking realm of things, and even how I feel about it too, because I'm like, I am busy, and do I want to be teaching everything what I've learned? All this, it's like I do and I don't. There's you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your own business. I mean, like we fly all around the world. It's very hard to make friends when you're like, where are you from? Do I shoot there? I mean, I did that with Jay. Like this year, I was like, oh no.
I thought you were coming here.
Okay, I got the flu.
Oh.
And so Tim shot it.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah. Tim shot it.
Way to go, Timmy.
He especially should have came. Why did he not even? I mean,
why didn't you come say hi? He thinks you're being rude.
Yes, that was rude.
I've got a question.
He's got a question for you.
Okay.
Is this live?
Yes, it's very live.
All the way live.
It's very live.
We don't do martial arts.
Oh, goodness.
I just had somebody reach out about 450 martial arts students.
Sure.
I'm just wondering, do I use a little bit of smoke or a shit ton of smoke?
Just always over smoke. You can't over smoke.
Do I do the boat ride smoke?
I mean, 450. I mean, I've been really happy with that aerosol. I think I can get
Works
out of
good,
a can.
If you don't get the triggers, the girl's fingers really start to be sore.
You need the triggers, and we found like about 80 athletes per can, I would say.
Do you get like holsters for them too?
You should. I don't, but that's a good
Put
idea.
them in those cargo shorts. Just stuff them in there.
Listen here, Tim. This is gonna piss you off. I have a discount code, so you can use my discount code to buy.
How
come I don't get the discount code and Timmy does? I'm really confused right now. I hate this show. I hate it.
You got me on a good deal. I got you for it.
Yeah, so we got anybody. So I've been using that atmospheric aerosol. So I just posted if you use atmospheric aerosol and you buy it from them, it's kind of tricky because it's that aerosol and they can't ship it. So if you don't have a local store to go pick it up, you need to like buy it from them because like B&H doesn't like to ship it, or Roberts or whoever you're using as far as the camera store.
Just go right to their website. Work. So just get the case. Save yourself the time. Buy the case.
Yeah, and then it's 15% off. It's pretty good because it's not inexpensive, but you just can't go crazy with it, And I do a version of what Rose does as far as having the girls pose all different ways. I'm not going to get into my cheerleading pose. Nobody's ever going to see that. Jody tries to take photos of me trying to copy what Rose does, and we just use a little bit of haze back there. It works really well, and I don't know, about 80 athletes we get per can. And then you know, maybe one photo per athlete, you might, you know, give a little extra to really bring that haze out. But
well, and you're not spraying the smoke every shot. You're spraying it. So we got in a good rhythm yesterday where we just start with the game face look, spray the smoke, and by the time I got to the smile looks, you know, a few seconds later, the smoke had kind of dissipated, and we're just, you know, you're only spraying the shot for just a second. They run through, take your 4 or 5 shots real fast, move on to the next kid. It's pretty fast. Yeah. And your technique on that depends on how much smoke you use. If you're not backlighting that correctly and your key light is spilling onto that smoke, you're not going to see it no matter what you're doing. So, you know, technique's important on how much you go through.
We are picking up some smoke while we're here. We've got to go to our photo shoot in a little bit, and I was like, we got to get some of that. We brought our Pavo tubes, which we don't use very often, and we're gonna. I
don't use mine enough either.
I don't use mine enough either. But we're gonna do that tonight and do some double setup, something a little bit different and stuff tonight. Nice. But I'm excited to use them.
So you use the Pavo tubes and the smoke tonight?
I'm going to tonight.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't wait to see those. Those will be interesting.
That'll be fire.
It'll be fun. Yeah. So we're doing this honestly because we did a couple double setups, you know, because I'm pretty much a lean, mean, me only machine. And we did a couple setups and my sales were like 25% higher, which is a different, totally different look. And so I was like, man, we're going to go this weekend and we're going to travel with twice as much gear on an airplane. Thank you, Media Pass for Southwest. And we're going to do double, which is really hard to travel just with one setup, more or less. We're going to do 2. So we're going to do the next 3 nights doing. Yeah, it was 95 pounds, our big bag.
Ooh. So what did you say again? Say that again. That helped increase 25% sales. You added somewhat.
Yeah.
Having just a totally drastic different look setup. So still doing what we do with our headshots and our body shots and stuff like that, but then doing a totally 180 different look.
So that might be where the Pavo and the smoke comes in.
Yeah, because it's not, I mean, every time people see that, they want to do it. It's not easy to travel with those on an airplane and not like damage them and ruin them. And so we haven't done a lot of that. We travel more with our DJ lights because we've got a case and everything for them. They're still pretty heavy and still pretty expensive. But and I like the breakup of the lights because the solid light, I don't know, it's just a totally different look. So I like it with the circles in it.
Are those brighter, Rose, the DJs over the Pavos?
Yes.
They look brighter in your photos when you're using them. Yeah.
They're uncomfortable to stand in front of and look at them. Looking through the viewfinder, it's fine. But like you just stand there and just start staring straight ahead. It's difficult.
We're made for the club. We're made for the club.
Exactly. But there's dimmer. You know, we've got a whole switch box for them. So we can change every color. They can rotate out different colors. They can do pairs of colors, which is nice.
That's
and then we can dim up and down, which is nice. But yeah, they're super strong.
I love the club.
Yeah. Justin does love a club. He will shut clubs down at boot camp. He'll shut
all
a club down.
night. Nobody's keeping up with me.
So listen, so Stevie, who works for Photo Day, is my she's my niece. Yeah. She's like, Uncle Jay, Justin was so funny. He looked at me and he's like, so am I basically the best dancer you've ever seen at my age? Then dancing in his shoes. What are those shoes called? Those you're dancing in your sandals.
Oh, I wasn't wearing my sandals.
You were wearing your sandals, your Oregonian sandals.
My Vans.
Sandals.
I was wearing Vans.
Oh, okay, all right.
My go bastards.
Or somewhere else.
What's that?
I have Olakais. They're my favorite sandals.
You?
That was in where were we?
The Photo Day.
St. Pete.
That was a Photo Day experience. Yeah.
Yeah. St. Pete Beach. Yeah, where he's breaking it down. I just love that. So, you know, Rose, when I went to imaging since it was Justin didn't go. I went to imaging since it was in Nashville, and it was just it's 3.5 hour drive. So I was like, I just popped in one day and then left, and I was there to hang out with Photo Day, and I got to see Emily there, and James Quantz was there, so we all met up and had a great night. Angry Joey, I think Angry Joey's coming to y'all's class. He's going to be a handful.
He should. He should.
Yeah, he called me yesterday and was asking about the class. It's like, yeah, you need to go.
He needs to go to a lot of them.
Yeah. So, anyways, I ended up hanging out with some of the people who had really been a part. Some people on the board members, the PPA, and that sort of thing. And it was funny because they were just like, what do you do? And I'm like, I do sports, and I'm like a volume guy. And it was a conversation to explain to them what I do. You know what I mean? It was crazy. It was crazy. I mean, they used to have a volume track, but it was like they still to this day, like I feel like we're still looked down upon in the industry, even when we have some really, I mean, I think the volume photography group on Facebook has the best images because that's just what I'm inspired by. Like you guys said that, do you see some inspirational photos from Emily, whatever? And I can say this because I talk to Justin every day. When a photographer inspires us, we get pissed off. Like, gosh, damn it. How'd they get that photo that good?
Why didn't we do that?
Right?
We're not inspired.'re pissed. So yeah, that's what drives us. And we see some great images, I think, that are very inspirational or piss you off or whatever you want to say it in our Facebook group. So I don't think it's the same as it was 15, 20 years ago when maybe it was just taking a knee, very flat light, nothing going on. Still not a lot of respect going on in some of the workshops. So I guess it's good that we have the SPAC and the sync, but PPA I still think it's a little behind with us.
Yeah, it blows my mind too, because Mr. Ralph was the president of, I call him Mr. Ralph. Mr. Ralph was the president a few years ago of PPA. And there's nobody that knows volume as much as he does. I mean, he had like 4 studios at one time and he was doing massive volume. But I know a lot of it was underclass. A lot of it was schools, not people that are just doing volume sports. I think volume sports in and of itself does have a bad rap, or just does not get acknowledged at all. Even dance photographers, they have more acknowledgement than sports photographers, just sports photographers. Yeah.
Yeah. There's the whole convention for dance photographers. Have you been to that, Emily? Did you go to that? The Papa, whatever? Mm-mm. I can't even say it.
The Pas-de-Deux? Pas-de-Deux.
Papa. It's called Papa. That's all.
Pas-de-Deux. I have not been. I thought about it. Me and Jen Harding were going to go to it this summer, but we decided we're going to Cancun instead. So.
Yeah, that's maybe that's not so bad. So what is your split, Rose, as far as like dance / cheer?
We have a lot more cheer. I think we have like 75, 78 or something all-star counts. Is that right? 70? It was 70
all
last
over the
time we
US.
talked about it.
All over the country.
And most of those are out of state. I think we've got 5 in state, but most of those are out of state. And we are busiest booked from November, I would say, through March, heavily January and February and March. So yeah. And then the dance studios, we've got like 26-ish in there. I don't know. That might have changed. Tim gets aggressive. He'll just be like, I don't know, bored. I don't know, with his life or something, thinks he needs to do something. So he'll just be like, I messaged all these, accounts, and he's like, these ones want to work with us, But we try to stay more local as far as our dance stuff, because that's in a shorter season at a time. And we don't want to have to be like traveling, like losing days and traveling and stuff, because dance studios, they do take much longer to do.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating because I live in a big metro area. Rose travels all over the country, and Justin and Emily are very small towns, and we're all kind of making it work.
Dallas.
No, I'm sorry. Your town, and your town small?
My town is small,
but you're part of Dallas.
But you're close to Dallas.
Yeah. I didn't know how close you were to Dallas. Justin just lives in the middle of nowhere.
Well, in Dallas,
but he owns his town. Like he does everything for his town.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but that doesn't always work into sales, to be honest, or good profits, because the problem is I hit these poor parents 7, 8, 9 times a year, so they pick and choose what their favorites are for sure.
I was listening to a podcast yesterday on sales marketing to different generational groups of age groups, and man, I feel like you can go down a rabbit hole on that, as far as just like Gen Xers to millennials, just like how they want to receive that information and how they want to be marketed to in that information. And I would say, I was just having a conversation yesterday with someone about dance. A lot in the dance world, there's a lot of studio owners that are kind of phasing out, but they're still in it, and they're like 60s and stuff like that. And there's these younger generations of 30s and 40s that are coming in and buying up those studios. But boy, you market to those two different people. It's very different. It's like, how do you want to go and get those clients? And I was just like, well, who are you marketing? Are you talking to a 40-year-old person that just bought a dance studio? Because you can Instagram her If you're talking to a 60-year-old lady that's still in it, is never going to give it up, but it still has a very big business because she's been in the community for a long time, you're going to need to show up 30 minutes before her dance studio opens because she will be there. It's like, that's two very different, it's like, it's just changing, and just how you even sell. I feel like that's part of the reason that we do so well for what we do, because we're selling to our age demographic that does buy everything online. It's like they have, they love Amazon. Now, they're not the generation that has only grown up with technology. So even that generation, here in 10 years, when that generation comes in and they're starting to be the purchasers of things, it's going to shift all around again. I don't know. It's different. I could talk about that, I think, forever, because I just care.
What do you think?
That's super important stuff. I mean, I love that conversation. That needs to happen a lot.
Oh my gosh, Lisa's in here. She would talk about that for a week.
Yes, she would. Because I
She's here.
Yeah, I think it's
she says you're the mayor of your town, Justin.
Yeah, I saw that.
Probably are. But I don't know. I just think that people that have been doing it for a long time, whatever way they're doing it, I talked to somebody yesterday who's like still, prepaid order forms. And I was like, nothing wrong with it. Do it as long as you want to, and you can do it. But I was like, that is going to change. It's going to get harder and harder for people to keep doing that, because so many people are going to expect something different. Now, as far as the marketing side of things, like how you attract those clients are going to, I think in the next 5 years, especially, it's going to shift around so much. I think there's going to be more and more different social media platforms, even the ones that parents might be on. But as that kind of Generation X, I think those older high school parents, they come in the newer generation of younger kids that have like the Emily's kids, like you might market to an Emily mom, very different than you might want to do on a Gen Xer mom, and how you get them in. Because like even QR codes, it's like, Jay, you've said many times, like you've got a salesperson there, scan this code, scan this code, scan this code, scan this code. A kid that comes up, they just see that code and they scan it because they just know that's what this is supposed to do.
Yeah.
But even though you send that to that parent, you still got to go tell that parent, hey, you need to scan this code. So it's different. It's like how we're going to sell to them, how we're going to market to them, how we're going to talk to them. It's going to change, and it is. And so you have to be aware of that, because I think people have amazing work or even just really good work that still don't know how to sell their stuff, or they're still not seeing the buy, they're still not seeing the return they want to. And it's like, maybe you need to think about what kind of age demographic your people that you're going for, those parents are, because they want to be sold to maybe differently than you want to be sold to.
That's interesting. That's fascinating. Lisa didn't say nothing about my cup, but anyway, I was interested because I was just in Valdosta, Georgia last week, and we had to take 2 crews out down there for a basketball league in separate locations. And I was in the loudest location on earth. It was so loud. It was like in a college rec facility. There's 2 basketball courts going, and there was a guy with the loudest whistle. It was like piercing every time. It was awful. It was an awful situation. But Karina sent us down with the A-frames in the QR code to take you to the advanced pay for or to opt in for photo day. And I was amazed. Because we had a small staff. There's 3 of us there. We had 1 team photographer, one person assisting the photographer who was a local kid that didn't know anything about photography. They were just there to help assist. And then I was taking the team photos and then checking in everybody. So there wasn't a whole lot of time for sales. And we'd done this league for a while, so it's not that big a deal, but I didn't have to say anything. Everybody just walked up to that QR code. I was amazed. And it was even the older people. They just walked up to the thing and they scanned the code. They might have, a couple of questions here or there, but there wasn't as much interaction needed, maybe because we've been done the league for a while, but I was really surprised at how many people just knew to go up and scan that code. And it just wasn't like that a couple of years ago.
Totally true. I mean, that was the best thing for me that came out of COVID. It's like everyone knows how to scan a QR code now.
Yes,
like
because the menus and all that stuff.
Menus, anything. You go to the doctor, is like scan this. Anything is just like get your information and scan this. It's like
I love ordering from the app at the table when you go to a restaurant. That's one of my favorite things.
No, I love to pay through it.
Yeah, and just get up and leave when you're done. Yeah.
Yes. That's the worst part about going out to eat is you have to sit there and wait for her to bring your check back when you're so tired from a shoot, because that's typically
when you get to go eat finally.
Yeah, when you finally get to go eat, and then you have to sit there and wait for them. You can just scan a little thing and you're done.
Yeah, I know that. Going after a shoot, we're gonna get Chinese. Our go-to is Chinese food after a shoot out of town, and our favorite place is here. So I'm really
which is where are you? Where are you?
We're in Philadelphia. We're in Philadelphia.
Is it cold?
And It is cold. It's not snowing cold, but it's a little chilly. But we're going to go to King of Prussia tonight, and then we drive to New York City tomorrow. And then Sunday we're in New Jersey. Yeah, we're in New Jersey, and then I think we're back here. So, but our favorite place is Han Dynasty, which is funny because the first time we ever ordered it, Tim gave me the website, and he's usually driving and I'm ordering and doing those things, and it doesn't fit my personality very well, but I'm doing it. And I'm like, Tim, I was like, why do you give me this website? It's called Handy Nasty. I was like, this is inappropriate. I was like, what is this? I was like, it's called Handy Nasty. He's like,
See,
no.
I mean, we bring the ladies on here and the show gets dirty.
We're getting canceled immediately.
I mean, as soon as we bring ladies in here, we're going. Me and Justin have been good lately. Last few episodes have been clean. Bring ladies
Rose
on here.
comes in out of
Rose
nowhere.
comes and just destroys it. Talking about handsy.
This is inappropriate, Tim. And he's like, it's Han Dynasty. And I was like,
Oh no.
I was like,
No.
why would anyone put that up for their website? That's not okay.
Right. They wouldn't.
But it's really good dumplings, so we're gonna get some on our shoot.
I
on our
love
way
General
home.
Tso's chicken. That's what I want to know. How good's that?
Yes, totally. General
There we
Tso's,
go.
egg rolls, spring rolls, all the things. Yep.
I'm not sure who that is, but that's interesting.
Let me look. I will find them.
Sure. So, Emily, are you an hour from Dallas?
Lisa, his
Like 45, 50 minutes.
Okay, and everything's a long drive.
Well, I don't think that's long. I don't know. When you grow up in Dallas, it's like, an hour. Like that's not
Right.
bad.
I feel like you grew up in Dallas that you want to go 5 miles, it's gonna take you 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
like
there's just so much here, and like all through Dallas, Fort Worth, like everything, all the cities are connected, and it's major highways. So, hey Cameron, how far is Granbury? How far is Granbury? Yeah, we had like an hour and a half, hour 45 down to. I didn't go. I was in Nashville, but like we have a studio minivan because mom got a new car, so the minivan is now studio.
got it. That's
property.
a studio
That's
car.
great.
So yeah, they just took that down there, and we had our high school girls. They got in the car. It was on a Sunday, and I mean, we'll go pretty far. I'll go down to Waco, Austin to shoot dance studios. I'm fine with a little bit of travel, but I don't want to travel like Rose does.
Got it.
I didn't sign up for it either. It's just kind of left into that in my life.
And the money is good enough to make
it's
it
worth flying.
Yeah, it's worth
Yes.
doing. Yeah,
Yes,
understandable.
absolutely.
Okay,
She told me how she does her travel stuff. So like if anybody who
It's
comes to the
amazing.
workshop is interested in how she does it and how it makes financial sense for her, she's got the whole thing completely worked out.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Okay, I got one more question for you guys 'cause I'm curious. I've been doing a lot of tethering lately. I know Rose, you do some. Emily, Justin, how much do you do? When do you decide you're going to do that? Like what type of shoot? Like just a little bit about how you handle the tethering situation.
You want to go first? You go first.
I tether a lot. I'll tether as much as humanly possible if I can, unless it's like a small high school shoot or something like that, or maybe something that I knew no parents would be at. But it's part of our strategy to tether, just because not many people can shoot right out of camera and produce something really, really awesome. So if you can, it usually impresses people, and it gives more people an interest in wanting to see the photos, because you can put the same girl in front of the same background photographed by 5 different people, and it's all going to look different. So like being able to produce that right out of the computer and just be able to see it and pop it up. I love doing that. I think it's great. I think it only brings just more excitement to the photo shoots, more excellence to your photos, because you're going to see them better. Everything you can tweak a little bit better on a bigger screen, and gets parents more excited to see them and buy them. And that's usually what they say to us. It's just like, wow, they look that good. How do they look that good out of the camera? Yeah,
already.
Exactly.
Already.
Yeah.
So we have good intentions on trying to tether, especially with our high school stuff, which we don't do that much, like going into the schools, and where we have a small enough shoot where it's just one photographer shooting individuals. Usually like we have a private school here, and usually when we go there, we have 3 to 4 photographers shooting different sports in different fields in different places all at the same time. So like, it's just all we can do to get all the equipment there and make it happen. And then when we do our leagues, it's like sometimes it's 2, 3, 4 photographers set up kind of next to each other, and we set up like the ropes and the caution tape and the whole deal because we don't want parents coming in there.
Right.
Like there's nothing worse than when you get somebody behind you going, smile, smile, and you're trying to do a game.
Terrible.
Or they're like, why do you have them looking down? Like they have a double chin. It's like, no, they don't. I'm sitting on the ground. Like, go away. So I love the deal of tethering and like how it gets the kids excited and it makes it more of an experience. But with what we're doing right now, for the most part, it's just like not working for us for what we're shooting most often.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I get that. I think we've all been in situations where you just get that annoying parents or some of them. And I find the less I do team photos and I get them in and out, I don't have that problem. But I always am very mindful that wherever I'm going to set up, I'm going to have my back against the wall so no one can ever be behind me. Yeah. So it's like they can stand off to the side, but I'm like, that's like the first thing I'm looking for is like, where am I going to set it? I need to be somewhere that's highly inconvenient for anyone to get behind me because I hate that too. Or I hate the line of girls that are like, look at them and then they're all kind of like chit-chatting with them and trying to make them laugh and girls, all the things. And it's just like, stop. So it's like, how do we position the walkthrough that no one's behind me and that line, they can't go around and see their friends. You know what I totally understand that.
I get, why are their feet so far apart? And it's like,
I had that last night. I had a basketball player say that too. Like, I don't want my feet spread that far. And are my shoes going to show? And I said, it's basketball. It's about the shoes. Yeah, I'm showing them. I love the shoes. That makes a big deal.
Yeah. You want to hear something about shoes that's like kind of embarrassing and also kind of cool?
Yes.
So Deja, our office manager, and she also shoots for us. What are you, Deja? 28? 26. She's young.
She doesn't even know her staff. How many?
I know.
It's too big. She's too big.
What's your name?
What's your
too
name?
Big.
Again?
What do you do? How do we meet?
Are you even old enough to work?
Well,
that's funny.
Yeah, she's worked here like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So anyway, she's been doing TikTok for it. She's done 4 TikToks. The first one, literally the first one she did to us, has like almost 700,000 views.
Oh, damn.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
And, it's not
I did one. I got 7 views yesterday.
They are making fun of this little boy so hard over his shoes. He had on Air Force One mids with ankle socks. And like, I didn't even know what that meant until people started commenting it. But if you want to go check out at Click Studios Texas on TikTok, you can pretend that we're cool for having 700,000 views, but really it's just we're not cool. And one of the comments was, you should never take pictures again.
That's funny.
I had a Google review that said that.
You have somebody that's in there that obviously likes TikTok or likes to make those reels, or obviously younger generation. It's talking about that generation. It's like the change of that. It's like how certain generations are not even on Instagram or never going to be on Facebook. But how, if you're going to market to them, to get them to convince their team or their, if they're at a certain age to book with you, it's how you're going to have to be on that. So are you guys on that new one called Be Real?
No.
I kind of like that one. My daughter showed me that. She's in college, I think it's kind of cool to document. I mean, I guess you could do it yourself. You don't have to have it, on your phone, but I mean, it's kind of a fun thing. I think it's a pretty cool idea, but I'm not on it.
Yeah. I think
your Instagram actually bringing you any work, or is it just like when people find out about you and then they see your Instagram, they're like, oh, look at all the cool stuff he can do. Or is it actually bringing you jobs?
Me?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Yes, I think it has been bringing me jobs. Not, what do you think, Corinne? Do you think Instagram's been bringing us jobs? Yeah, it has been. I mean, I hadn't made any money from Instagram, but it has been an influence, and it helps kind of like the on-site thing. When kids see that you have a lot of followers, they are a little bit more invested in the photo shoots. The same thing with the tethering. When they see the photos come out of the camera, they're more invested. They see you have a big Instagram file. They're excited about being in front of the camera at that point. So I think it helps in that aspect. And then, we have been getting a lot of calls. Some of it's crap. I mean, probably 80% of it is stuff that's, I love the message I get all the time. What is your minimum rate? I'm like, well, some bitch, I mean, $5,000. How about that? I'm like, minimum rate. Why would you ask such a question? So, but there's a lot of that. Yeah, not my client. So,
but you're saying your bookings don't come from
kid
Instagram.
Or like an actual possible client.
Just that we do get a lot of moms, and I think that one comes from like people from other countries. It's just kind of weird, but no, we have been getting been getting, I wouldn't say big leagues. We've been getting a lot of banner shoots, the high school programs that I didn't have before. Now they're calling me, and they're not the big money makers like an 800 kid, baseball league.
No, there's high school programs, and that high schooler is making that decision.
Yeah,
it's showing those images of yours, and then getting whoever they need to contact for it.
Correct.
It's the totally different age group, rather than maybe your leagues. You might be calling or emailing them rather than like Facebook messaging them.
Correct.
And that in 10 years could be totally different.
Yeah, this is different for me because we were Facebook only,
Yeah.
And then doing Instagram's a different kind of customer. So hopefully we can kind of maintain both, right? Still being that, our big money is going to be in the leagues, and then we're going to have a good side business with the shooting 30 to 40 kids at a time. And if it's local, that's good because we have more staff now, so we can, send them out or just keep everybody busier. It's a good thing. Yeah. So far so good. I'm happy with that. It's enough for me to keep doing it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's Lisa. Justin, you didn't answer the question about tethering.
Yeah, I mean, tethering's, it's one more thing that I don't always bring with me. I love it. I love doing it when I do it, but it is not very often. I'm so run and gun. I'm so different. I'm sorry. I just freaking fly in and fly out as fast as I can. And that's just one more thing to set up. Now, I say that with those shoots, but if I'm shooting a really nice property, I shoot real estate. I know that's not this genre, but it's perfect for that. It's perfect for in-studio sessions, I think. I think it has its place for me personally. I love that you guys can run around with them, but it's just one more thing for me that I don't run out into the, those outdoor sessions and stuff. I'm just not tethering as much. I probably should.
Yeah. It doesn't, don't make excuses. It's a Mac and one cord. It's really not that hard. It's not that hard, but
I don't own a Mac. I don't own one.
Well, you need to. I mean, it is like incredibly easy. Like I wouldn't do it if it wasn't easy to do.
Justin's leaving.
Yeah, he's leaving.
He just left. He's like,
yeah, I'm done. But yeah, what is that?
Oh, hopefully that's a Mac in there.
Is that
some fun?
I don't know.
Probably.
But I'm not gonna. I'm like Emily. I'm not doing a big league with 3 or 4 photographers. We're not tethering. It's more those Instagram shoots that we're talking about, Rose, where we have, Cheer was good, like because I learned that you and James Quantz were doing the tethering things. Like, okay, I need to try that, and that worked fantastic. That was a big group. But we're outside 2 or 3 stations, we're not all going to tethering. And plus, the way I flip my camera, like you can't tether. Because the way the Canons go, the new Sonys, which is a reason to buy a Sony, maybe. I shouldn't have said that in front of Karina. Then that might be, a thing that we can do.
You could use a Fuji. You could use a medium format Fuji. There, look at this flip out. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
It's all blurry because I'm shooting at 1.2, but look at that.
You can shoot with a Canon to the utility app. It does a half decent job, but you can through the Canon shoot through a router, which is the trickery way to do it, and it works way better.
Through a router wirelessly?
Yes.
Okay.
They're the only system that we've been able to do that. We haven't tried it out in a long time, but you could shoot it to a router to an iPad because it will work. But if you're going crazy distances like where we are, then hunting people down, then you can do it that way.
Let me back up and say I do tether for my dance stuff. I have to because I try and shoot that so close to perfect because I want to turn that dance studio that same day or the next day, and I don't have time to make that pure white in Photoshop. I do it in Lightroom, and I do it with my camera, and I do it fast. So
I think tethering for us, it's a great way because we're dealing with new people a lot, just to give them peace of mind. That's just like, look how beautiful this is. Right. It's like, that's why you hone your craft, get good at that, become really excellent at what you do, whatever that genre may be, and learn to nail it, whatever your sound might be. And then if you can tether, then obviously then you can prove that you're just not spending 15 hours behind your computer editing a simple shoot that should just have been photographed better. You know what I mean?
Facts.
On that, let's wrap it up. Ladies, one more time. It's going to be When are we signing up?
The date. Oh, the live to go signups are Monday at 12 o'clock Central. The date of the event is going to be June 23rd and 24th. It's Friday, Saturday here in Oklahoma City. Not here because I'm in Philly. But the website is doitdifferent.co. And Emily has a wonderful face group that she's pretty active in it. What's it called? What's the official name of it? Business Growth?
Business Growth for Volume Photographers, I think.
Business Growth for Volume.
For volume photographers.
Yeah. So join that group.
Everyone join it.
Yeah. Join
the
group.
I will join
it's
it.
got a lot of just really good.
You already
really
joined
good
it.
business tips and tricks.
Oh.
Hey, Karina.
There she is.
But it's going to be fun.
Shirt.
If you have any questions, the website has a lot of information, has the schedule on it. And we're going to be doing some more things in her Facebook group, but it'll be fun.
And if you have any questions about the workshop or anything, you can ask in the Facebook group, or you can email us at doitdifferentworkshop@gmail.com.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. That was fun. We need to do it again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way more.
All right, guys. All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye.